At 61, Melissa Gilbert finally tells the truth about Melissa Sue Anderson. Melissa Gilbert was born Melissa Ellen Gilbert on May 8, 1964, in Los Angeles, California. She came into this world as the daughter of David Darlington and Kathy Wood. When she was born, her biological parents were going through significant financial problems and were not sure if they could provide all the stability and opportunities their child deserved. Since they wanted only the best for their newborn baby, they did not hesitate to make that tough yet selfless decision to place Melissa up for adoption. This early act of love and foresight would shape the course of her life and closely connect her destiny with the world of entertainment. Melissa was adopted almost immediately by actors Paul Gilbert and his wife, Barbara Crane, just one day after her birth. Paul was already an experienced actor, whereas Barbara was both an actress and a great dancer. Barbara was also the daughter of renowned comedy writer Harry Crane, whose indelible mark on television is still remembered. Growing up in such an atmosphere, Melissa was immersed in creativity, performance, and the realities of Hollywood from the very beginning. Major family changes marked her childhood. At 8 years old, Melissa's adoptive parents divorced, an event that fully changed her sense of stability. Barbara later married Harold Abels, and that marriage ended in divorce as well. Melissa gained a half-sister from the second marriage, named Sarah Rebecca Abels, born January 29, 1975, who later took the stage named Sarah Gilbert and developed her own successful television career, most predominantly on Roseanne. Tragedy struck again when Melissa's adoptive father, Paul Gilbert, died on February 13, 1976, from complications following a stroke. In spite of all these difficulties, Melissa was brought up within the Jewish religious tradition and participated in its rites and norms, although she was never officially converted into that faith. This spirituality in upbringing became an important part of her personal identity and became another layer in her already complex childhood. Melissa was an extremely talented performer from a very young age. Her adoptive parents' influence and her own innate talent led her to acting at a very young age. She started working in commercials, one of the earliest being for Alpo dog food, in which she acted with actor Lorne Greene. This developed her skills and got her used to the demanding and competitive world of entertainment. Melissa's career-defining moment came with NBC Little House on the Prairie when she was cast as Laura Ingalls, the second eldest daughter of Charles Ingalls, played by Michael Landon. Over 500 children auditioned for the role. Finally, her charm, discipline, and screen presence landed her the part. She learned she was picked through Leslie Landon, Michael Landon's daughter, who went to the same school. Her brother Jonathan Gilbert joined the show too, playing Willie Olson. Filming started in 1973, and the series ran from 1974 until 1983. As time passed, the period drama became a cultural phenomenon and one that audiences of all ages loved. Melissa's portrayal of Laura was endearing to the audience, making her a household name. While Little House on the Prairie remained the cornerstone of her early career, Melissa expanded her talents into feature films and continued to build her television career. She had major roles in the critically acclaimed film The Miracle Worker in 1979, The Diary of Anne Frank in 1980, Splendor in the Grass in 1981, and Choices of the Heart in 1983, where she played the humanitarian Jean Donovan. As she grew older, she moved into more adult roles, with appearances in Choices in 1986 and A Family of Strangers in 1993. In addition to her live-action work, Melissa also had voice work in animated productions, including the voice of Batgirl in Batman, the animated series during the 1990s. In 1996, she played the role of Anna Sheridan in 3 episodes of Babylon 5, opposite her then-husband Bruce Boxleitner. Of course, Melissa's career had its share of ups and downs, and projects that were not quite as successful. She experienced setbacks with shows like Little House, A New Beginning in 1982, Stand By Your Man in 1992, and Sweet Justice in 1994. Undeterred, Melissa continued with a wide range of roles. In 2006, she played a role on the television series Nip/Tuck as Chernobyl, a patient undergoing a sensitive cosmetic procedure, showing that she will indeed take on unusual and mature material. Along with screen work, Melissa got back to her roots through the theater regarding Little House on the Prairie. Between the years 2008 and 2009, she reprised the role of Caroline Ma Ingalls in the Francesca Zambello-helmed musical version of the series. It opened at Minneapolis Guthrie Theater and went on a national tour, ending at the Starlight Theater in Kansas City, Missouri, in June 2010. This allowed her to reconnect with audiences in a live performance setting, reaffirming her lasting connection to the story that defined much of her early life. Melissa also shared her personal and professional journey through her 2009 autobiography, A Prairie Tale, in which she gave fans an inside look at her experiences in Hollywood, her family life, and her growth as an actress and person. She continued to act through a number of projects after her time on Little House on the Prairie, including acting in 2011's The Christmas Pageant. She also took her talents to a different stage when she competed on the 14th season of Dancing with the Stars in 2012. Paired with professional dancer Maxim Shmerkovsky, she delivered memorable performances throughout her run and was eliminated on her birthday in the 8th episode. After showing the world courage, class, and game spirit, Melissa's aspirations grew beyond acting. On August 10, 2015, she announced that she was running for a seat in the United States House of Representatives for Michigan's 8th Congressional District in the election of 2016. She was subsequently forced to withdraw due to complications from a spinal injury. In addition to acting in public service, she also became a producer and director when she formed her own production company, Halfman Productions, which provided her with more creative control and opened opportunities to fund other artists. Melissa Gilbert's personal life has been closely intertwined with her relationships, particularly her marriages, which mirror different periods of her personal and professional maturation. Her first marriage in 1988 was to Bo Brinkman, an actor with credits in both television and theater. Brinkman came into Melissa's life at one of those crucial transition times from child star to adult actress trying to find her way within Hollywood and herself. Their marriage had numerous problems, and they divorced in 1994 after 6 years. Although that relationship did not last, it marked an important period of self-discovery for Melissa. Shortly afterward, she married Bruce Boxleitner in 1995. Boxleitner was very well known for his science fiction roles in series such as Babylon 5 and Scarecrow and Mrs. King, and he shared both a professional and personal bond with Melissa. The marriage lasted 16 years, during which they merged families, supported each other's careers, and lived under constant public scrutiny. Regardless of their deep connection and history together, the marriage came to an eventual end in 2011, showing the strains long-term relationships can often bear from being in the public eye, the demands of career, and the cycles of change that people endure. In 2013, Melissa again met her love when she married accomplished actor and director Timothy Busfield, who was known to work on series such as The West Wing and 30-something. This marriage marked a more stable and mature chapter of her life. By then, Melissa had gained deep life experience and a stronger understanding of herself and her needs. Timothy's calm demeanor and creative background complement Melissa's energy and artistic spirit, creating a partnership based on mutual respect, friendship, and shared values. Their relationship has been defined by emotional support, collaboration, and a sense of true partnership shaped by the lessons Melissa learned from her earlier marriages. Only at 61 years old did Melissa Gilbert finally open up in a candidly deep, personal reflection about her relationship with her longtime Little House on the Prairie co-star Melissa Sue Anderson. She finally shared things fans had speculated about but never truly knew. Gilbert was open during her interviews about the bond the two shared, saying it was complex, layered, and sometimes challenging to navigate. The reason, she said, was because landing the series as young girls put them under such intense fame and scrutiny, creating a unique bond that was not always easy. While their on-screen characters maintained ideal family and friendship dynamics, the reality behind those scenes was much more complicated. Gilbert said that people thought of them as just perfect little girls, leading perfect lives. The reality couldn't be further from the truth. They were just kids trying to figure out how to live in a very unusual environment that was oftentimes overwhelming. She said their friendship changed over time because she and Anderson each faced personal struggles, career ups and downs, and moments of self-discovery. Their paths, she said, would sometimes diverge, and that separation did not mean a lack of care or respect. Rather, it reflected the fact that people grow and change in different ways. Yet Gilbert made a point to underscore that there was never any real malice or ill will between them, only the peculiar experience of growing up together in the public eye that ultimately formed their bond. She talked about Anderson's character and talent with tremendous respect and admiration, referring to her as one of the most genuine and talented people she had ever met. Working alongside her, Gilbert said, taught her vital lessons about professionalism, patience, and quiet strength. She also remembered how closely knit everyone was on set, adding that such bonding helped them survive the pressure of working for very long hours and being in the constant eye of the media. However, she did not refrain from admitting that constant observation as a child could exaggerate feelings related to jealousy, misunderstanding, and insecurity. These struggles, she explained, were part of growing up without the space to simply be a normal child. Gilbert said that it wasn't until she was turning 61 that she had the clarity and perspective to be completely candid. Maturity brings in its wake the ability to look back without defensiveness or resentment and to see the whole picture with more understanding. She can now honor both the joyful and difficult moments of that shared history without needing to justify anything to the public. She made clear that her decision to speak was not about reopening old wounds or settling scores, but, rather, about acknowledging truth and paying homage to a connection that shaped both of their lives. Gilbert also reminded fans that relationships formed during childhood, especially under the spotlight of fame, are often misunderstood. Just because people work together does not mean they remain lifelong best friends in the same way. She concluded that their bond may be different in nature now from what it used to be, but it is something that will continue always since they shared some of the most formative years in their lives together. This is a powerful reflection of how different early experiences leave marks, how relationships change with time, and how childhood stardom is often far removed from the image on screen.